Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be covering IXL Assignment Add and Subtract Integers word problems. All right, let's get started. Read this word problem. The overnight low temperature in Cassidy City was negative 17 degrees Fahrenheit. The overnight low temperature in Shakerville was negative 6 degrees Fahrenheit. How much warmer was Shakerville than Cassidy City? Before I even read the rest of this, I am going to reread that word problem and annotate it. I'm going to mark up my text and identify some key information. The overnight low temperature in Cassidy City was 17 degrees Fahrenheit. The overnight low temperature in Shakerville was negative 6 degrees Fahrenheit. And our question, what we're looking for here, is how much warmer Shakerville was than Cassidy City. So I want to know how much warmer. Okay, now I'm going to read the next part, which is going to tell us what this student Manny did to solve it. And we're going to have to determine if Manny is correct or not. To solve the problem, Manny subtracted negative 6 minus negative 17 and came up with the answer of negative 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Is Manny correct? Why or why not? And I notice here that I have 3 answer choices. Before I even read those answer choices, I'm going to solve the problem and see if I get the answer, negative 11 degrees. First, let's verify that Manny set it up correctly. Well, we have negative 6 degrees was Shakerville, negative 17 was Cassidy. And if I want to know how much warmer Shakerville is than Cassidy, then yes, I would subtract because I want to know the difference. And that difference is how much warmer the one city is. I agree with the way Manny set it up. Now let's solve that. We have negative 6 minus a negative 17. If we follow our rules for integers, remember whenever you see a subtraction sign, we want to rewrite that to where we're adding the opposite. So a little phrase that can help you remember how to add the opposite is keep, change, change. We keep the first number the same, change subtraction to addition, and change the sign of our second number. The negative 17 becomes a positive 17. We just changed it to adding the opposite. Now we have an addition problem and we can follow our rules for adding integers. Well, do these numbers have the same sign or different signs? They have different signs. My 6 is negative, my 17 is positive. Remember, when you're adding, if they have different signs, you subtract, and the larger absolute value determines your sign. 17 minus 6 would be 11. But if I look at the absolute value, the larger absolute value is 17, and 17 is positive, which means our answer should be a positive 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that what Manny got? No, Manny got a negative 11. Now I'm going to read the 3 answer choices and see if one of those matches what we received. So yes, Manny is correct. Nope, we already know that's not right. No, the answer should have been 11 degrees Fahrenheit, not negative 11 degrees Fahrenheit, because Shakerville was warmer. That is correct. But just to make sure, I'm going to read the last one. No, Manny should have added negative 17 and negative 6. Yep, nope. All right. Yay. Let's try another one. Read this word problem. Amanda is playing her new video game, Track Runner. At first, she earned 20 points for winning a sprint. Then in the next race, she got negative 25 points when she knocked over most of her hurdles. What is Amanda's total score now? All right, I have the gist. We're talking about Amanda playing a track game. Let's now read it a second time and annotate, mark up our text. So Amanda's playing her new video game, Track Runner. At first, she earned 20 points. If you're earning 20 points, is that going to be positive or negative? It'll be positive because we're increasing your earning that much. Then the next race, she got negative 25 points when she knocked over her hurdles. We want to know what is Amanda's total score. Okay. Let's read what Amy did to solve this problem. To solve the problem, Amy added 20 plus negative 25 and came up with the answer 5 points. Is Amy correct? Why or why not? All right, let's dissect this. First off, do we agree with the way Amy set it up? I do agree, because if we are trying to find the total number of points, that means we are totaling, we are adding it up. So we need to add the positive 20 points that she earned with the negative 25 points due to her knocking over some hurdles. We're going to go off to the side and solve this and see if we get the same answer. Once again, we're going to follow our rules for integers. This time I'm not subtracting, so I don't need to rewrite. I can follow my rules for adding and subtracting integers. Remember, if their signs are the same, you add and keep the sign. If their signs are different, you subtract, and the larger absolute value is the sign that is kept. My signs are different. The 20 is positive, the 25 is negative. We're going to subtract. 25 minus 20 is 5. Which number has the larger absolute value? 25 does. Is that number positive or negative? It's negative, which means our answer is negative 5 points. Is that what Amy got? No, she got a positive 5. All right, let's read our answer choices and pick the right one. First, yes, Amy is correct. Nope, we already said we disagree with her. No, the answer should have been negative 5 because Amanda lost more points than she gained. Yep, that's correct. But let's read the last one to verify. No, Amy should have subtracted 20 minus 25 because Amanda earned negative points. Yeah, B is still our answer. Let's try a couple more here. Connor is playing a card game called At Face Value. At the end of each round, players earned positive points for their remaining number cards, but negative points for their face cards. At the end of one round, Connor earns negative 5 points. At the end of round 2, he earns negative 6 points. What is Connor's score now? All right, we read it once. We're talking about Connor. He's playing a card game, and we're tallying up his points. Let's read it a second time and mark up our text. Connor is playing a card game called At Face Value. At the end of each round, players earn positive points for the remaining number of cards, but negative points for their face value. So positive for the number cards, negative for the face value. At the end of round 1, he earns negative 5 points. Ooh, he must have had a lot of face value cards. At the end of round 2, he earns negative 6 points. Yikes. And our question is asking us, what is Connor's score now? Okay, let's see what Michael did to solve it. To solve this problem, Michael added negative 5 plus negative 6 and came up with the answer of negative 11 points. Is Michael correct? Why or why not? First off, do we agree with how Michael set up the problem? I do. We want to know the total number of Connor's score, his total number of points. Therefore, we need to add negative 5 and negative 6. Ooh, that's a snappy 5. All right, our rules for adding, same sign, we add and keep the sign. These do have the same sign. They're both negative. 5 plus 6 is 11. And we keep the sign the same because we're continuing to add down that negative side of the number line. Negative 11 points. Is that what Michael got? It is. Yay. That means we do agree Michael solved it correctly. All right, this one looks a little bit different. We'll make this our final problem. In October, Diana planted a tulip bulb 6 inches deep in the soil. The next spring, when the tulip bloomed, it reached a height of 13 inches above the surface. What is the total distance from where the bulb was planted to the top of the tulip? All right, let's read it a second time to mark up our text. In October, Diana planted a tulip bulb 6 inches deep in the soil. So if we're 6 inches deep, if we're in the soil, we're underground, would 6 inches be a positive or a negative number? It would be a negative because 0 would be the ground, so we're below the surface. The next spring, when the tulip bloomed, it reached a height of 13 inches above the surface. So if we're above, would that be positive or negative? Above ground would be above 0. It would be a positive 13. We want to know the total distance from where the tulip was planted all the way to the top. So we want to know it was planted -6 feet in the soil and it reached 13 inches above the surface. We want to know that total distance, meaning we need to add -6 plus 13. Wait a second. I just said we need to add, but no, we don't. If we're talking about distance, that means we are working with absolute value. Oh my goodness, see? Sometimes you may just get in the habit of thinking, oh, the titles add and subtract. We just need to add. Well, we kind of do, but we're going to draw a diagram to help us understand this. Here is our soil, that's our baseline. Wait, let's make that the bright color. Here's our soil, here's the ground, that's our baseline of 0. And then underneath the soil, we planted this tulip bulb -6 inches deep. But then that tulip bulb, it grew, it sprouted on up. And our tulip, we'll make it a blue tulip. I'm not an artist, so hence just circles and lines. Our tulip, the tip top of it is 13 inches above the soil. So if we're counting distance, whenever we work with distance, it doesn't matter whether you walk forwards or walk backwards, you're walking, so it's a positive amount. Therefore, we need to take the absolute value of -6. Absolute value is the distance, it is the positive version. That would be 6 inches. So the absolute value of -6 would be a +6. That would bring it up to surface level. But then it increased, it grew 13 more inches, meaning we need to add that to get our total distance. 6 plus 13 is 19. 19 total inches is the distance from where it was planted to the tip top. Oh, I typed the wrong answer in. Oh no. But you know what? Mistakes happen. We're going to keep this. Note, first off, notice that we did get the right answer. It is 19. Correct answer is 19 inches. But I was so busy talking, I typed a 13 in. That happens. So here's my warning to you. Make sure that you guys are in an environment where you can be focused. Double check your work. But also, here's the cool thing. If you never read this, please make sure you do. When you miss a question on IXL, it explains exactly why, and it shows you exactly how to solve it. Okay? So please always refer to that if you do miss a question, because maybe it will help you understand how to fix your answer and get the next one right. Okay? Alrighty, guys, we are going to come to a close in our video. If you have any other questions, remember you can email your teacher or attend a help session. Bye.